You're listening to iCommunicate with your host, Mark Altman, on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Once again, here's Mark.
Welcome back to iCommunicate, and I'm here with Andy Malionek of the Immaculate Conception School in Marlborough. I'm your host, Mark Altman, founder of Mindset Go. Andy, I want to pick up where we left off before the break. You know, you were talking about it being emotionally draining. And one of the things I've always found fascinating, I have 3 kids and one who's a 6th grader currently. And, you know, as parents, we want the entire focus to be on our child, right? So, you know, we come to school and we have high demands and high expectations, and it's almost like a customer service job. You know, we want to make sure our kids are being taken care of. And I think one of the challenges between parents and educators is there's almost a perception and assumption that your child is just a number. And it's regardless of how good a job the educator does, it's almost they walk in the door feeling that way. So how can you change that perception? You know, what do you recommend for parents who are thinking that out there? Either A, how do you change it, and B, you know, what can we do to fix it?
Absolutely. I think one hand on the side of the school, professionally speaking, communication. If a school can reach out to the family and give the parents a window into the classroom to make them feel like they're a part of their child's education, I think that really makes that connection strong. So weekly communication is fantastic, not only by the teachers. This is what we did this week kind of a thing, a newsletter or so on, but also the principal reaching out to the parents. I just started having a principal-parent coffee hour, and it's just a nice way for parents of different grades levels to come in and to sit, have coffee, and just do what we're doing. Just talk, just chat. And they get you get to see, it's not so much, it's the human connection. It's making them feel like they belong here, they're a part of this school, not just their child. The family's a part of the school. So that to avoid making the parents feel like their child's just a number, you want to include the family into the community. And I think that word community is sometimes used loosely.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I think that it's a powerful word. And I think if a school can use that and really understand its meaning, then I think parents will buy in to what the school is selling.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges administrators face is when you're doing the kinds of things you're doing to engage parents, it can be very frustrating because you can do the coffee hour, you can send home the newsletter, and those parents who aren't participating and who aren't reading the newsletter are the very ones that are going to complain. And I think for a principal, I've talked to a lot of other administrators. I think that's part of one of the hardest things about being a principal is you can put your best foot forward to engage, and then they don't do anything, and then it feels like, why am I even doing this? Because they're not participating.
Absolutely.
Right?
No, you know, and that goes back to when I talked about speaking with other principals. Every school has that. It's not just privy to one particular school. Parents, no matter how many times you could blast a message via email or send it home in the backpack or even make an announcement on Twitter or Facebook time and time again, but there's some parents that just won't read it.
Well, you know what, Andy, and you and I have talked about this offline. Here's where I think one of the flaws in the engagement methods by administrators is it's basically based on the school's agenda, right? You're going to let parents know things going on in the school. It's still in the best interest of the parents. Sure. But my point is, what do parents really want to know? I mean, if you polled 100 parents and said, hey, if you were going to come to a coffee with the principal and I could make the agenda one, do you think we really have an understanding of what would motivate parents to be more engaged in this?
I think parents ultimately want their child to be safe. Okay, and they want to know that their child is set up for success. So I think in that sense, and oftentimes parents want to feel that they can trust, dropping off a child at school or at a bus stop, you're saying goodbye to them for several hours,
true,
right?
True.
And you're trusting that the people are going to take care, not only physically, right, take care of their child, make sure they're safe, bodily harm and so on, but also mentally and emotionally and socially. And again, those are huge responsibilities for a teacher to take on. So I think Parents want to know that their child is going to be safe in all aspects of their life. And again, the more that a school can make a parent feel relaxed and comfortable, even if a parent has, a poor communication with the teacher and comes in steaming, there's a way there's a way to calm that down. There's a way to make a parent realize that, look, okay, we're all human. We're all human, but we have the same goal in mind, and that is the safety of your child. So I think parents want to know that their child is going to be taken care of in every aspect.
But you know what, Andy? I'm listening to you, and I think you're right. But here's my problem, and I'm on the school side, and I'm a parent, but I'm on the school side on this.
Yeah.
Here's what I think happens. I think parents, that's exactly what they expect and the standard they have. And then here's what happens. So they wash their hands and say, okay, I just want to feel good that my parents and my child's safe and in good hands. And then when problems arise at the school, now all of a sudden they've kind of washed their hands because they're working and they're doing their thing. And then it becomes very reactive because their standard of what they wanted all along was so low. And then now we're looking for a scapegoat when something goes wrong.
Absolutely.
And so that's my problem, is that parents, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You could, your kid gets dropped off at the bus and goes to school. Yes, it's a safe, happy environment, but now then what?
Yeah.
And then the reliance on teachers now more than ever to do so much of that parenting role. I mean, are you seeing that?
I absolutely. And I think so many times parents are, and we're in a, when I first started at Immaculate Conception School, we had a meet the principal night. We have a new pastor at our school, and we also have a new director of advancement, sorry. And, it was a good showing, right? But there could have been more people there. And I bring this up for a very good point, is I think today's society, today's world, and not just Marlborough, not just Massachusetts, parents have to work. Both parents need to work. And I think parents are so busy that they don't have time. And they're quick to wash their hands of a situation because it's easier. And they expect more from the teacher to take on that role of a parent because they just don't have the time. And so I get that. I'm a parent myself, and it really is difficult. And you, Mark, you're a parent yourself. It's difficult to find that balance. It really is hard.
So, Andy, if you were looking at all the parents, not only at your school, but in schools across the country, if you were to give two pieces of advice on how best to engage, whether at the school with their kids related to their educational well-being, what would be your two suggestions? Finish this sentence. Boy, if you could do any two things, these are the two things I would recommend most.
For the school? To reach out? For the school? To be genuine. I think that's important. I think people are, when a new teacher walks into a classroom and is afraid, the students can sense it. And I'm sure you, Mark, in your profession, you teach to CEOs in different businesses that confidence is important, that the people that you're speaking to, they can sense when you're not confident. And then they have all these doubts about what you're saying anyways. So I think the first thing to say for a school is to be genuine in your communication, to reach out, to be passionate, to be energetic. And to let them know that we're in it together. And I think that idea of team is very important. At my school here, we adopted this theme for the entire school year of team, and TEAM. T stands for together, E, everyone, A, achieves, and M, more. So together, everyone achieves more.
Yeah, I like that.
And the idea is that, again, that the sense of community is not just in this little building. It's, yes, the people in this building, but then the families around it, but it's also those that are in the Marlborough proper. So that's the first thing I would say, is to be genuine. Secondly, I would say is to... second piece is communication. I think that's very important, is to be clear. And everyone, even myself, sometimes you let a piece, you should have said something or to someone and you just sort of let that go. And the idea is it's very difficult to be on your game all the time. And you have to have a sense of humility too, Mark. You're not
Well
going to
said.
Exactly. You got to understand that you're going to make a mistake. You're going to send out an email and you misspelled something, and you got to laugh at yourself. So I guess, Mark, I would say the two pieces of information is, one is to be genuine, and two is have a sense of humility.
Andy, that's great. So you're listening to Andy Malionek, the principal of Immaculate Conception School. This is I Communicate, Finding Your Voice. I'm your host, Mark Altman, and we'll be back after the break.